Me and all my black homegirls are talking about our relationship status.
Right.
And all of us are all of us are single. I want black love. Would you rather date down or date down within your race? So date down with a black man.
Right.
Or date white.
Jersey people, welcome to the Coffee Pot. My name is Chishu Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Woman is frustrated and goes to TikTok to get some advice. Maybe you guys could help her out. I don't know. But she says, I went on a brunch with my homegirls and 4 of us were black women. The other one was a white woman. All 4 of us are single. And she's in a thriving relationship. By now, I already know where the conversation is going, and I have a sense of who she might blame for those 4 black women being single, but we don't know yet. We don't want to jump to conclusions here. So let's hear her for herself. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
So I just went to brunch with a couple of my homegirls after church, and there were 5 of us. 4 of us were black, 1 was white. And the 4 of us black girls were single. And the white girl is in a happy, healthy, thriving relationship. Her partner is Hispanic, and they have been dating for a few months now. But like the normal progression, met, hit it off, went on a few dates, got in a relationship, long distance right now, meeting parents soon. Like the normal. Okay. No gray, no limbo, no nothing like that. And then for sure, all of us are like actively dating, some more active than others, but nonetheless single. But then we're kind of telling the stories of like the guys that we're talking to or have gone on recent dates with, and like these struggle stories are insane.
Right.
And for reference, we're all in between 27 and 29, maybe 30.
Sounds about right. Epiphany stage right there. Time to talk about these things seriously. Epiphany stage. The stage women start waking up to realizing that they're getting older, that they can no longer compete with their younger self, right? Spend their 20s partying it up. And now it's time to get serious.
Why is this the commonality with me and all my black girls? Like faithfully. Not just this group of black girls, but like so many. My closest friends, my black girlies that I've met on assignments, out, like all my black girlies that exclusively date black men are on a struggle bus. And a part of me is like, just get off the bus, date other races, start dating any other race. And there is something in my stomach that immediately just gets sick at that thought. I want black love. I once read this article and it was saying how black women need to start dating outside of their race because it's not working. Like it broke down all these statistics and all these things. And I did a poll on my Instagram story. Like, would you rather date down or date down within your race? So date down with a black man. So, let go of some of your non-negotiables, a man that makes less than you, a man that like, whatever your non-negotiables are, date down from those.
Right.
Or date white. And a majority of black women said they would rather date down. And I'm like, what is the chokehold? I'm asking my...
You know what it is.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
No, in all seriousness, interesting conversation. Let's keep listening.
What is the chokehold? Like, I myself would rather date down than date outside of my race. And it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. I wish I had more to say than that. I am very frustrated with dating at this point. And I get the girlies that are like decenter men and focus on your relationship with God and focus on your friendships and da-da-da-da. And that's what my 20s has been all about. My friends traveling.
That's what my 20s has been all about. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? My whole 20s has been all about having fun, traveling, Pound Town. Well, she didn't say that. I'm saying that. All I'm saying is we know how it goes, guys. And remember, you can never bet on finding yourself a woman who hasn't had her fun. It's just the honest truth. To the guys there praying, oh, please send me a virgin. Wrong time, wrong era. But you just hope that she's not so damaged and so set in her ways and doesn't come with a bunch of kids and all that drama and isn't traumatized to the point where she's not able to be in a healthy relationship, right? That's what I tell you guys a lot of times. That is the best you can wish for in the reality of dating and marriage today for the vast majority of men. Let's keep listening.
Catching a fight, doing whatever I want to do, spending money willy-nilly. Like, that's what I do.
Gotcha.
Like, y'all not trying to come home to the same person every day? Y'all not trying to fold his laundry? Y'all not trying to cook dinner? Y'all not trying to go to Pilates after you make your kids lunch? Oh, we got different goals.
All right, so you guys heard what she said. She's on this brunch and she looks over. All four of her friends who are also black women are single, and the one white woman is in a thriving relationship. I did not hear married, but it sounds like they're in a thriving relationship, probably with the goal and intention to get married. And I'm not going to assume, we know it's probably true, but I'm not going to assume that when she says date down, she's specifically talking about finding men who are economically attractive. I'm going to assume that maybe it's some other things. She's got other videos here that I might check out. But I do want to say this. Let's assume that most black men out here cannot financially support themselves, which is completely bullshit. They're unstable. We know the truth is there's a list of which half of those things on that list for a lot of these women is completely out of their league. They're overpricing themselves and also being delusional. Some of those things make sense. Some of those things make sense. Let's not be extreme here. But let's just assume that she's right. Don't forget that she said that black women are willing to date down. My question is, if they are willing to date down instead of dating outside of their race or a white man like she said, then why aren't they getting married? Well, because even if you are willing to date down, you forget that men hold the key to marriage. The dating market changes. This whole strategy changes once you go from my 20s having fun to I'm ready to get married. Now it's up to a man to look at your report card and say, how you doing here in cooking class? Okay, yeah, D- is not going to cut it. What's going on? How you doing there in 304 class? I see you got a C- on that. I don't want to know what you were doing that got you that C-, but I just have a problem with that. Okay. Job class there. Okay. Educated. All right. A+. How about in that letting a man lead class? What's up with that? Why is that an F? We can't have that. Even the man who is now more caffeinated than ever because he's making sure he's drinking his coffee every morning is looking at that situation and going, do I really want to be with the woman who thinks she's dating down for me? Because trust me, you're giving off that energy. That's just the fact. You're giving off that energy. There's that. There's also the fact that I actually encourage any woman to date where she's appreciated, the same way I encourage every man to date where he is appreciated. There are plenty of men who date outside the race, who get insulted and condemned, by the way, and women who probably get the same type of response. I don't do that. And I see nothing wrong with you considering going to a place or considering dating a man who would appreciate you. Someone left a comment that said, you'd rather date down than date outside your race? Please elaborate. So this is obviously a woman who is upset with her saying, I'd rather date down. And let's see what she meant by dating down. Let's check it out.
The sentiment date down seems to severely strike a nerve for honestly everyone. It strikes a nerve for both black men and for black women because the black men are like hurt or like offended by it, and then the black women are like, don't you settle. And okay, calm down. First and foremost, date down does not mean I think less of you. It means these are my standards, and now I'm wiggling on some of them so that you meet the standard. Like,
Right.
relax. For me, some of my non-negotiables were financial stability, not necessarily that you make more than me, but that you make enough to live a comfortable life and that you are financially responsible, because you're not about to combine with my money and be crazy acting, okay? It is my preference for my man to make more than me, because one day I do want to have kids and I would love to stay home with them for as long as possible. So yeah, I do want you to be able to like provide for that lifestyle. But again, not my non-negotiable. That's my preference.
That's good that she's willing to bet on that. Most likely, for most women, that's not going to happen because that man would need to be in a certain small percentage, as we all know, to be able to take care of you and the kids, and you not have to worry about needing to contribute to the majority of the bills. Just keep listening.
Another non-negotiable has been religion. I'm a Christian. I love Jesus.
Amen. God is good. Drink the coffee.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
I want my man to have a relationship with God. I don't want it to just be, oh, he goes to church on Christmas and Easter and, you know, he grew up in the church and that's it. Like, do you have a personal relationship with God? Because if you don't, then you will not know how to love me correctly. I don't want it. I think some women have started to, in my opinion, what would be for me, date down by saying, oh, well, he's Muslim, but like we can have a mixed household, or he is Jewish, or he doesn't go to church, he doesn't believe in anything, he's agnostic, but we can just make it work. For me, that's not something that I want to do. That's a non-negotiable. Another one for me is I don't want someone who has kids. I understand that people don't see that as a non-negotiable. For me, I grew up in a co-parent household. Didn't like it. And I also have a lot of friends who are co-parenting their children, and I don't like it. The dynamic between mothers and fathers and this co-parenting are not always good, and I would prefer to not add to that by being a stepmom, the girlfriend, whatever. Like, I'm just not interested in the possible drama right now when relationships are hard enough.
That's fair. I also want to point out that she said that a lot of her friends are single mothers there, basically. Let's keep listening.
Another non-negotiable that I used to have that I'm wiggling on more, and it's not necessarily dating down, but it's me just like growing and realizing that it's not that deep, was education. I need you to value education, but I don't necessarily need you to have a 4-year degree, because nowadays people are making big money with no degree. People are very successful without a degree. And so as someone who grew up in an African household, going to college was not optional. It was mandatory. Education was a priority. So I grew up with that mindset. And so I had that same mindset for my partner. But again, with how the world works and seeing the growth and the differences, I'm like, oh, well, it's not necessarily a non-negotiable anymore. So when I say date down, I'm saying letting go of those things, like, to me, would be dating down. There are other non-negotiables, but I don't need to go into every single one. But those are like an example of, okay, I'm willing to date someone that is never going to make more than me. I'm going to have to work full time my whole life. Okay. Like, or, oh.
But why do you think that? But that's a good mindset though. Let me correct myself. It's good to prepare for the worst. But I just did a video recently of a woman who is now pretty much relaxing at home because she spent a lot of her earlier years in her relationship going into her marriage supporting her man who was getting into medical school. And I was talking about how a lot of chicks out here are not doing that. They wouldn't want to do that. See, these are the other issues that I think are a lot bigger than what people may just think are just financial issues, even though we know that's definitely in the top reasons of why women have unrealistic standards for themselves. They also just don't invest in a guy and his future potential. I'm not talking about the people who date hoping someone's going to change when they're showing them day after day that they're not following through with their plans, ideas, and it's all just talk. But there are a lot of guys out here who you can tell are creating plans, have 5-year goals. And by the time they reach those goals, they're not checking those women who turned them down, who are finally looking at them like, oh yeah, now I'm ready to settle down with you. Because they know that if they were ever in that other situation, those women wouldn't look their way. I just think that's a very, very important topic to also touch on. Let's keep listening.
He has a kid, but they have a good relationship, so like let's see if it could work. The religion one, not wiggling on, haven't wiggled on since college. But things like that. And also, I don't know why higher comprehension has been missing, mostly with the men. Just because I would consider dating outside of my race, those standards would still apply. The point of dating outside of my race is to widen my pool. Okay, it doesn't mean I'm gonna go find Chad that has no job, no home, no education, and 5 baby mamas. Like, relax. So yes, that is my version of dating down, and I hope it stops offending people. I think dating down is like, that phrase is an automatic trigger, especially for Black men, like, you know, and then Black women see it as settling, but like it genuinely is not either of those things. Like, it's not meant to do either of those things. It's just a phrase to explain something. So hopefully that cleared it up. I'm really trying not to do that anymore, because I don't think I'm asking for too much. And yeah, I do understand there is that wiggle room of, okay, you're here and we can grow together. And so that's why I say, like, sometimes you date down and it's not settling. It's like, okay, this is an area you have to grow in. So like, let's grow in that area together, because then you're up to my standards, or like you're meeting my non-negotiables. You know what I mean?
All right. I don't think that her expectations and standards are the worst that I've seen. I think she has a lot of realistic standards there. I don't think that she would struggle as much as other women I've seen out here. And I'm glad I watched that second video. I will say this though. What people usually think will be the challenge in relationships and leading into marriage is never actually the challenge. The biggest reason a lot of guys would be out here and would look at a woman such as this one and not take her seriously because she's talking about the other relationship. Oh, she has no drama. He obviously wants to meet the parents. It looks like it's heading towards marriage. It comes down to letting go of your independence as a woman, learning to cooperate with the man, and learning interdependence. That's a tough one. And these guys are never going to tell these women this in most cases because they're enjoying dating them, and passing them around is just the truth. I know. The truth is, when it comes to Black women, a lot of them are united in a lot of things. And one of those things is they're embracing feminism and independent thought. And it's difficult to bring that into a relationship, let alone marriage. As always, we're going to check out some of these comments. First comment here says, I want to explore, but I'm physically not attracted to other races. We've got another woman here who says, I'm onto pasta and lobster, taco and horchata, and chicken masala. Chicken masala is good. Somebody else here says, you're not alone. I think we're all exhausted. I have some theories on this. Here's another person that says, my Black friend group and I have the same issues. Shaking my head. My other friends live a completely different experience. Here's the truth. Black women have embraced feminism to a very, 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 very strong degree. And when you look at single mothers by choice and women having a lot of men out here who are not prepared to be in healthy relationships, you have a lot of problems. Somebody else here added, I'm getting off the bus. I can't do this anymore. Another person here says, the problem is I haven't found other races I'm actually attracted to, so I don't know what to do at this point. Here's somebody else who added, because I went to eat just yesterday and I got called big money 3 times by the same man. And I literally had to tell him to stop. Another person here added, I hate that for you. Somebody else here says, me too. Here's another person who says, it's disheartening that we're all experiencing this. Another person here added, I hopped off the bus years ago and never got back on. I love it. Another comment here says, I almost gave up until a mature and respectful black man scooped me up. He's 40 and I'm 33. It took time. Here's somebody else who added, hopped off the bus years ago and it was truly the best decision I've ever made. The struggle bus was too much for me. Back to this chick, I just thought of when he was 30 years old, she was 23. A lot of these chicks would have had a problem with that. Again, I do think a lot of women have these unrealistic expectations for the men they're dealing with and what they should be bringing in as far as money. Let's also keep in mind women are hypergamous. Majority of women are not agreeing with her saying that she's willing to go down with the finances thing, right? Women date across and usually want a man who makes more money than them, right? Same level or higher. Very rarely are they willing to actually go down. Another comment here says, everything that you said, also not to scare any of y'all, but I'm almost 43. I like that we ended with that comment because it reminds me that what seems to be the pattern is eventually the women, when they get to around 40, 50 years old, they're still delusional, but a lot of this other shit doesn't really matter. Now they're just hoping for a good man and he doesn't have to pay for everything, etc. And they have other issues, of course. Listen, guys, I'm curious to know what you think. Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you as always for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pot. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.